Son of a I will change names around for their protection. And you don't tell me what and what to write. I'm the one with 4 creative writing awards. Not you. Yeah, you have a poem that's published. I'm proud of you. That's cool. It's really cool. But you don't tell an artist what and what not to write. I'm calling you YouTube. You want me to call you YouTube? That's your new nickname. YouTube. Son of a... You fucking motherfucker gun.
Why you gotta censor me? Why you gotta censor me? What is this, last century? So why you gotta censor me? Won't let me on the television, or won't let me near the radio station. Cut down my work and mutilation. My creation causes devastation. Why you gotta censor me? Why you gotta censor me? What is this? The last century? So why you gotta censor me? They won't let me on television. They won't let me on the radio station. Cut down my work and revelation. My creation causes devastation. Why you gotta censor me? Why you gotta censor me?
So I stalked her for about 2 months, biding my time and biting my tongue. I parked down the street and did covert operations through the woods, binoculars, looking and seeing what kind of schedule she would keep. Now you see, this is someone that's been on my list for quite some time now. She was on the top of the list a very long time ago, followed by a few others. But she's been on top for a very long time because of things she done in the past to spawn of mine and of hers. You see, revenge is sweet, and it tastes best done by your own hand. So I bided my time. Months passed by, even years. Seconds ticked away from the clock. Minutes and hours. A decade. Until I saw my chance. I had my opening. Then I struck. Caught her walking down the boulevard with a thumb out, looking very scummy and slutty, as only she can. She looked like she had just been beat up in the woods by maybe a gang of 3 or 4 and let go with her life. I'm glad they didn't go further with it. They left a piece for me, and I was very happy about that. So I took my chance. I was already ready. I had a hood behind the seat of my car. I quickly put it on. It was a black hood with eyes cut out so I could see, and a little hole where my mouth would go so I could breathe. As I pulled over and told her to hop in, I flashed a couple $100 bills. They were fake, of course, counterfeit. I took years and studied how to make them look real. She reached for the money. I snatched it back quickly and said, "Not until the deed is done." She cried and whimpered a little bit, but agreed to my terms. As she hopped into my car, I quickly automatically locked the door. There's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide now. As I disguised my voice and said out loud, she tried to get out as she knew what was about to happen to her. She's probably thinking, I can't believe this is happening twice in one day. As I said before, she looked battered, beaten, and scarred. Maybe just came out of the woods doing a trick or two and got beat to hell. But they left her alive. And I'm thankful for that. As I reached behind the seat, I had a billy club and I clocked her in the back of the head as hard as I could, knocking her out. I drove to a secluded area down by the lake where I used to frequent with a buddy of mine and drink beers and watch boats pass by. Been drunk there a few times. As I laid down the seat on her side, she fell back and hit her head again, flopping around like a dead fish. She was breathing, I made sure of it. As I unbuckled her pants and put them down by her knees, I shoved a billy club straight up her ass, dry, jabbing it in as hard as I can, multiple times. You know, she wanted to be a whore. Now she's being treated like a whore. This is how whores are treated. Multiple times I pulled it out and smacked her fat, fucking, nasty, greasy, Virginia baked ham looking clit. Smacked it hard, that billy club, smacked it. Probably broke, I think I broke a bone. Her pelvic bone was broken. As I examined it closer, it was definitely caved in. So I just used the blood and I shoved it back in her ass. And kept treating her like the dirty whore she is. All the meanwhile, I had some old socks I had found down the road. I don't know who they belonged to. They might have been hers. They might have been the dudes that beat her up in the woods. I shoved it in her mouth, down her back of her throat. She was breathing through her nose. She was still alive as I kept jabbing her ass with the billy club. Started coming to a little bit. I punched her in her mouth and knocked her back out. She was out and I kept punching her anyway until her jaw was broken. I took the billy club out of her ass and shoved it down her mouth, shoving the socks further down her esophagus. Kept going and going as I plugged her nose with one hand. Until death reached her. It was a glorious sight. I laughed. as she gagged for her last breath. I laughed as she tried to grab me to make me stop. I took the hood off right before her eyes closed, so she knew and saw the last sight of her pathetic piece of shit life who did this to her. And she knew why. She always knew why. I came for her in glorious death.
I would do anything for her. Climb up a coconut tree, dive in a volcano at the bottom of the sea. Do anything for my baby. Over a puddle, put down my coat so she don't get mine on her feet. She's my woman, don't mind if I go. Her lips are fine, her kisses are sweet. They're sweet. Oh, I will do anything for her. Climb up a coconut tree, dive in a volcano at the bottom of the sea. Do anything for my baby. Over a puddle, put down my coat so she don't get on her feet. She's my woman, I don't mind if I go. The lips are fine, her kisses are sweet. They're sweet, yeah.
So there I sat in the bushes, waiting patiently with a cheap natural ice quart. It was cold, delicious tasting, and the moon was shining bright, like my grandmother's cornbread on Thanksgiving Day. I could smell the scent of woman, a classy perfume, as she walked down the trail. It was a bird sanctuary. People ride bikes there all the time. A lot of them staying healthy. Behind her was her husband, boyfriend, I don't know who, but he struck me the wrong way. After she passed, he was quite a ways behind. I threw a stick out in his spokes on his fancy bicycle, rolled him over the handlebars. Just for some reason, me living in the woods secretly in a bird sanctuary, that wasn't my life. No, it wasn't. And people like this guy with his fancy bicycle took that life from me. So I took his life from him. I stabbed him, bashed his head with a rock. I took his neck just for the hell of it, to see what one sounded like when it snapped. And it was loud, like a carrot or celery. Anyhow, it was the sound of a loud breaking bone. Didn't even know what came. I drug him and his bike back in the brush. And no one needs to know. And I tell this story all alone. Back under the brush there was a palm frond branch, lots of them, and an old sinkhole where he lays now, staring up at the sky, watching. Yeah, I hear on the news once in a while looking for this guy, the same guy. That's the reason why I live back in a bird sanctuary.
Is a mighty big creature, yes he is. Very strong creature, yes he is. Wouldn't wanna cross his path. Take you down a bloodbath. Destroying every feature. He was a mighty creature.
Where's he from?
I don't know.
What is it?
I don't know. Mighty big creature. Mighty big creature. Walks down the street, destroying anything it chooses. What does it do, flower? Watch it all week hour. People, animals, homes, cars, trucks, telephone poles. He eats electricity. What is this creature? What is this creature? Where's it from? What we gonna do? The creature's after me. The creature's after you.
You know, she wanted to be a whore. Now she's being treated like a whore. This is how whores are treated. Multiple times I pulled it out and smacked her fat, fucking, nasty, greasy Virginia Beach ham.
Thunder rolls in and strikes me down like a lightning bolt in the sky. Thunder clouds overhead strike me down as I die. Electricity runs through my veins. Lightning bolts bounce around in my brains. The friction makes me go insane. What's heavier than an earthquake? 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 Son of a